Hello and welcome to the NDD Raid School session on Sindragosa's Mystic Buffet. If you have not watched the NDD Raid School video on Sindragosa's Ice Tomb during Phase 2, I would suggest watching that video before this one. Mystic Buffet is a debuff that increases magic damage taken by 10% for each stack on the target. Mystic Buffet only occurs in Phase 2, but continues to occur the entire Phase 2. Mystic Buffet is applied every 6 seconds to anyone in Sindragosa's line of sight. Mystic Buffet lasts for 8 seconds and can stack up to 99 times, so proper clearing of these stacks is very important. DPS, your role in Mystic Buffet is to make sure your stacks don't get too high. The most efficient way to do this is to line of sight the center of Sindragosa's hitbox, not her head, not her tail, with an Ice Tomb until your stacks wear away. Ranged DPS should clear their stacks on every Ice Tomb that goes to the right. For the Ice Tombs on the left, just move over far enough to not be frozen by the next person coming to the right, and DPS the left tomb without moving completely behind it. This will greatly reduce your movement in Phase 2 and allow you to get more DPS on the boss. Be sure to run completely behind each Ice Tomb on the right, however, or your stacks of Mystic Buffet will get too high. If your healers feel that this method is making the raid take too much damage, then switch to a method of running behind each Ice Tomb and clearing your stacks each time. Caster DPS, remember that Mystic Buffet combined with Unchained Magic can add up to a large amount of damage, so it is very important to control the stacks of both of these debuffs in Phase 2. Melee DPS, if there are few of you, it may be easier for you to just run behind each Ice Tomb when it spawns and only DPS the Ice Tombs. This will prevent you from having to worry about permeating chill and frees up the ranged DPS to DPS on the boss more consistently. If your raid doesn't like this method, an alternative method is to only clear your stacks on Ice Tombs on the right. In this case, the melee DPS would DPS the boss during Ice Tombs on the left, while the ranged DPS killed Ice Tombs on the left. In any case, make sure your raid doesn't DPS the tombs so fast that people can't clear their stacks of Mystic Buffet. If you have high damage, simply DPS the Ice Tombs more slowly, or assign some DPS to stay on the boss until people's stacks are cleared, and then finish off the Ice Tomb and move on. Healers, your role in Mystic Buffet is to make sure your stacks don't get too high, and to realize the entire raid is going to be taking extra damage in Phase 2. Healers should take turns staying out to heal the tank, and going behind an Ice Tomb to clear their stacks. In some cases, depending on where the Ice Tombs are placed, you can line of sight the center of Sindragosa's hitbox, not her head, not her tail, to clear your stacks, but still be in line of sight to heal the tank. Tanks, your role in Mystic Buffet is to make sure your stacks don't get too high, or you will be one-shot by a Frost Breath. Tanks will need to rotate every Ice Tomb. Start Phase 2 with the main tank still tanking. For the first Ice Tomb, have the off-tank clear his stacks of Mystic Buffet. As soon as the off-tank stacks are cleared, he should run to the main tank and taunt the boss. Make sure Sindragosa stays in the same position, and you don't turn her towards the raid when you taunt. After the off-tank taunts, the main tank runs to the next Ice Tomb and clears his stacks of Mystic Buffet. Keep this taunt rotation going for the entire Phase 2. Tanks should call out on Vent when you are about ready to taunt, and then when you actually taunt, so the healers are ready to switch to heals. Be ready to use a defensive cooldown right after you taunt if needed. This video is created by Kuro of NDD Raid School. If you found this video to be helpful, tell others about it and watch more NDD Raid School videos on YouTube or at the NDD Guild website as shown.